I think I found the reason why this machine was not moving. First, I want you to take a look at a nice yoke. See, it's got teeth. See how smooth that one is? Barely any ridges and lots of metal shavings around there. Now, I did slide this one that's off that machine onto there, and it still did grip, but it does feel a little loose. I think, I'm not sure, those yokes come out because there's a bolt. There's a bolt in there, and I'm thinking, take that bolt off and use a gear puller. I can get that yoke out, put that yoke on this machine, this machine's pump, slide everything back together, and this might be what this machine needed all along. All right, so the engine is installed, fuel system is primed. I gotta add antifreeze to it. We have a runner, this baby right here, and I'm not seeing any leaks. I drove her, first time she's been operated probably in about 10 years, and I drove her over here, and yeah, this is a success story. Paint next. I hate to paint over the Palmetto Pool Company because that's an awesome vintage logo. I would guess this Bobcat is real early 80s. It's back when they put springs on the cab. That one over there is late 80s, does not have spring, has a air actuator. And yeah, it runs and moves and it does it really good. And that machine set for here so long it made divots. Maybe that'll give me the power I need to work on that thing. Working on the 743. Got her to run and move. Have to replace the yoke. Very happy with that. Now I'm doing a little bit of electrical. She actually seems to run and move great, but I'm not getting power to the ignition. And so did a little searching at the plugs and realized that one was plugged in there, and so I undid that wire because where it connects right here, this wire was pulled out. You see that wire? And the stud is missing. So that one's gonna be a plug and play into that wire, and then I think everything else is just sensors and gauges, and they should plug back in like this. Oh, I finished electrical on her. Turns out I was able to use the old ignition. Glow plugs work. You turn the key backwards to get glow plugs to start. Thing starts really easy. I've never had a 743 start this easy. Yeah, use my little Harbor Freight test light. I had bought a new ignition and also a new switch I was going to use for the glow plugs, but I got that all to work. Only gauge that doesn't seem to work is the fuel gauge. I did test it. It does have positive going to it. It could actually be the sending unit, or it could actually literally be on empty, for all I know. But yeah, and one splice here was missing a pin, and so I had to splice it. Can you see that red wire? The pin was broken, so I made a little those quick connectors that unplug. I put 2 unpluggable connections on it, pluggable connections. And then right here, I found out my alternator was not hooked up, so I fixed that. It was actually missing the pin inside the plug, and so I direct wired that. And then yeah, it's been pretty good little, yeah. What's left to do on this machine? Exhaust clamp, put the grate back on, painter, and start working on the Bob-Tach. I gotta have that moving freely. Yeah, she's doing pretty good. All right, here's the setup. About to paint this one, or prep it for paint, which is basically taking paint thinner on rags and getting all the grease off. But before we do that, take the palm sander and I'm gonna knock off loose paint. I got 80 grit. It'll get the stickers off, any peeling paint, which most of this paint looks like it was rubbed off, you know, got rub marks on it. Machine's been doing pretty good. I haven't really tested her much, but I like to get a good primer coat on there before I go hog wild on her. I think I'm gonna do new rubber lines. Fuel line kind of leaks, do a new one of those. And I put the Bob-Tach up here so I can work on it. The only problem about the 743 is they're so light, when you don't have attachment on there, they tend to tilt back. That rust is on top of the paint. So as I sanded the rust off, the white came out. Watch. Look at that. Either this rust color is paint, which it looks like rust to me. But that's weird that it's on top of the paint. I don't know. I can't fathom it. Alright, so I got kind of a first coat going. Not much of one. Stupid little gnat fly started landing. I actually had a guy roll up to look at a piece of equipment, and we started talking for about 2 hours. He agreed it's more of a project than he wants. He came to look at the case. But so I had to take a break. But these stupid gnat flies. Oh my God. They'll paint over tomorrow. They'll be dead by tomorrow, and I'll hit it again. And this is just the first coat. I haven't done the inside arms yet. I usually do that once I tilt the cab back. And I usually paint the cab back tilted. But I would, if I tilt the cab back right now, see how it's sitting like that? When I put it here, it was level. And then it just started tilting back, and I don't know. It'll do that. So 743s are so top heavy. Yeah, I just quickly put a coat on here. This is not the best. I need to smooth it out a little bit better. And then I gotta do the wheel wells, the front of the machine, the Bob-Tach I need to oil and work on. This one has its pin. It's just not wanting to move. Oh, that one moves. Oh yeah. Yeah, that one's good. It's like spring loaded or something. So that one, yeah, that one's good. This one is not connected. And there's a pin in there, but see how it has a spring thing, and the spring thing is missing the bolt on the end that would connect. This right here is some bullshit. So I can get the pin to slide back and forth after working with a crowbar, but getting it all the way out, I put a tool in there to try to hit it. I'm not getting it to move. So I've hooked it to the truck, and then I'm gonna try gently tapping it to see if it slides. What's happened is its hole has gotten really big, and its handle can't fit in the hole anymore. So I'm gonna need to weld a washer on the end of that, and then I think it'll work. I don't want to work, so I freed it up with a PB blaster. So I got a couple options. You see how rusty that bolt is? It goes into that hole, and it's like a pivot. Now I could take a random bolt, not this one, put it here, weld it. I'd grind that first, weld it, hope my welds would hold, then put a washer and a bolt on it, and then that will fix the walled hole. And that I wouldn't have to remove the pin to do that. I think I can do that working through that little hole. So I might do that if I can find a good substitute bolt. But you look here and you see they had to repair this one, and they cut here and here. But this side works. Alright, so I welded a bolt that I cut and put it right over here, welded it to that old nut. And then now I put my bolt on there. I have threads. Now I'll put that back together, put a washer on it, put the bolt on, and it should be good. Now they got some deep penetrating welds, but I'll probably grind them and check them. A little hillbilly ingenuity before it rains. I don't know if you can see it. See that nut on there, that bolt? It's working. Kind of needs to be oiled. It works. Yay. Fixed. One more thing off my checklist. Well, I got a buyer coming, not for the New Holland, but for the Bobcat behind it. It's a rainy day here. Basically, I painted it. It was running great, and then I go to drive it to the barn to put an air coat of paint on it. And the left drive motor goes bad. And so I was like, all right, well, I'll fix that. And then while I'm trying to work on that, the hydraulic cooler underneath here, a line explodes on it, or the hydraulic cooler itself. So I listed it for $5,500. I paid $32 delivered. And some farmer from Alabama, seems like a good guy. He wants to buy it. He knows how to fix it. So I'll make about $2 grand on this deal. My cover cost, about $300. So I'll make about $2 grand. So I got to clear all these trucks, all my trucks, all my Chevys. Chevy 1, 3500, 2500 non-HD, 2500 HD. I got to go park these up the road, kind of line the road with them. Or if it's not muddy, I'll use my neighbor's gravel place. Then I'm going to take that excavator over there, and I'm going to push this up to the road and have it where we could just push it on his trailer. But he doesn't want to see it run, so I got to charge up a hot battery. I haven't even touched this thing. Haven't even touched it. I need to. And I got another one in the shop I bought since that one. I gotta pull a motor on it. Little Bobcat excavator, pushed this out of the woods. Got a buyer coming for this thing. He 2 hours away. He's a gentleman farmer from Alabama. We agreed upon the price of $5,500, which will give me about a $2,000 profit. I had to do the yoke in this thing. I had to paint it, and then after I did all that, the drive motor went bad. So good deal. Pushing her up on the trailer. Almost there. Bam. Whee! There she goes.